Analysis, Dave, was points off turnovers, but Marion outscoring St. Joe in that statistic 11-0. Really, that's why the Giants are in the game. They've been able to take advantage of opportunities.
Well, they have. I'm just really impressed with both teams. They're really good high school basketball teams, and it's really a good ball game, all around. And I think they're certainly a match for St. Joe. The first time I've seen St. Joe match talent-wise this year. And it's very interesting, just from a coaching standpoint, to see what's going to happen in this second half. Both teams play hard. They're very talented. They're well coached, and we got a big crowd. And it's going to be a great second half, Chuck.
Don't forget, we've got a twin bill for you today, because after this one is over, it's Elkhart Memorial and Fort Wayne Concordia in Game 2. And most of those fans, if not all of them, are already here to watch this one. It should be a great finale as we wind down towards the state tournament. Of course, we'll have the championship game for you here tonight at 8 o'clock. St. Joe will begin with possession of the ball and a 1-point lead as we start quarter number 3. Tom Corcoran gives it to Darren Timor. He'll bring it across the timeline for the try. Finds Holmes' back door. Rodney finally controls it. Now to Corcoran. Corcoran from 17 short. Here's Anderson. Jerry Freshwater with the basketball. Gets it over to Kirby. Travis Kirby to Anderson. McCain sets a screen on Timor. It'll take him a week to get around it.
They just look for Anderson, Chuck. They look to get Anderson in a situation where he can drive with the ball or shoot it. There it is again, and that wasn't a good shot.
Timor played very good defense that time to force the bad shot. Holmes nearly has it stripped away by McCain. Instead gets it to Timor for 3. Kirby with the rebound for the Giants.
I'm not sure that they have to go to Anderson that much. I think they have some people inside. Now we got McCain setting the screen up the top of the free throw circle.
Freshwater misses, and here's Timor to Holmes. Both teams a little bit cold here at the beginning of the second half. Jamison, who was in foul trouble in the first half, now here's Timor. And St. Joe leads by 3.
That's a big basket, because that gets you off to a 3-point lead to start the second half, and you've scored first now, and domination is very important the first 4 or 5 minutes of second half.
Anderson sheds 2 defenders and puts it up and in.
That was pure
Anderson
strength.
now with 22 points, and that's his season average.
Just pure strength that time. St. Joe's trying to establish their offense. They're in a motion game right now.
Lorton misses on the hook and then fouls Freshwater on the rebound. St. Joe just doesn't appear to have any rhythm in their offense right now, Dave.
No, they don't. And again, Lorton shoots the ball a little too quick. Instead of making a good, strong move, he makes a half-hook move and he doesn't use the board. He should have used the board on that, taken it tough to the basket, and he would have scored or gotten a foul. As it was, he came out of it with nothing and fouled himself. So that's kids, and this is a semi-state, and sometimes you do rush, and he's played great today.
St. Joe staying in the man-to-man as Freshwater gets it to Kirby, around to Johnny Williams. Now down low to McCain, the wide body, puts it up off the glass and in. And for a guy that's 300 pounds, he showed a beautiful touch that time.
And great timing and great coordination. And that's the first time he's had the ball low since early in the ball game. And
Holmes misses the three-pointer, and Marion can take its largest lead with a bucket here.
See, there you got it. We have a jump shot that time, really not passing the ball, not getting in the offensive call, and St. Joe has not established their offense this half yet. They're shooting the ball a little bit too quick right now. And there's Marion on a nice cut.
Kirby can't get the roll. McCain saves it off of Holmes. Nice play by Jason McCain.
They grabbed the ball in the air, threw it off of St. Joe kids' legs, and that's very important at this time. Marion has not had, I don't believe, more than a 1-point lead since early in the ball game, and they've got to score. They score right now. It'll give them a lot of confidence. They're moving very well on offense right now.
Williams misses the jumper. It goes out of bounds off Williams, and St. Joe will get the basketball. Right in front of the Marion bench. You take a look at Dan Gunn, the former boss at Penn. He played for a Marion Final Four team in 1969. Maybe one of the greatest Final Fours they've ever had in Indianapolis. All 4 teams had a combined 1 loss. Timor now for 3. Can't get it home, but Jamison with a great job on the boards misses. Now Lorton puts it up, no good. No, that's Timor. The fourth time is a charm. He's fouled on the play by McCain, and Timor will go to the line.
There's a situation, Chuck, where Marion was caught standing. They get 3-4 attempts there, finally ending with a basket by Timor and a foul, but Marion did not jump and did not block off that time, and that's a shame because they were doing such a great job on the board. Once in a while, you'll get high school kids who just stand, sometime during the game, and that was one of those situations right there. St. Joe has the lead back, and Timor stayed with it that time.
You don't want to put St. Joe at the line. Timor, an 80% foul shooter, now has 9 points. St. Joe as a team is hitting 70% from the line. St. Joe now countering with some pressure in the backcourt. Freshwater will bring it across. He's guarded by Holmes. Indians by 2. 4:32 to go, third quarter. Freshwater now with the basketball, goes into the paint, dishes off for McCain.
Great play that time. Great penetration, left his feet, gave it to McCain, and right off the backboard.
10 points for the big fellow from Marion, and we are tied for the first time in the ball game. Jamison steps out of bounds.
I'm not sure he wasn't forced out that time by McCain. McCain got away with one that time, I'm afraid.
Boy, Steve Austin is hot about that call. You don't see the Colonel get up on too many things, but that call brought him out of his chair. Some action away from the ball, and they'll call the foul on Timor. He was trying to fight through a Freshwater screen.
It was a moving screen too, Chuck. No question in my mind, that foul probably was on Freshwater. Not really a good call. You have to give a kid a chance. One step. I mean, watch him, he's moving. See, you can't really see. It's over in the corner, left-hand corner of the screen, but he didn't have a chance to avoid the screen, and it was a moving screen also.
Freshwater goes into the paint. This time it's blocked by Jamison, and Corcoran gets the rebound.
Jamison's doing a good job on defense in this ball game and a good job on the boards. He's played much better than his stats. He has about 6 points, I believe, but he's doing a good job of intimidating inside. He's 6'7", and he's got nice long arms and jumps very well.
Holmes misses the wide-open three-pointer, and McCain picks up the loose rebound. Kirby with the basketball. Freshwater, now Anderson for three. Got it. It's the biggest lead for the Giants at 3 points. David Anderson has 25, and the purple-clad fans to our right are going nuts. Timor hands off to Holmes. After a racehorse first half, things have slowed down in period number 3.
Derek Jackson's doing a great job on Holmes. Now, that time, they're really jump switching on him, but Jackson has him most of the time. Jackson is an outstanding defensive player, and he just forced the turnover. He fronted real well inside, and turnover St. Joe Marion's ball.
St. Joe turns the ball over, and the Marion fans roar their approval. They're up by 3.
Defense. They're playing very good defense, very good help defense right now with a lot of pressure. Marion's 4 of 9 from the floor with 1 3-pointer, and David Anderson is starting to take over the ball game. He drags now and on the fast break, and Freshwater penetrates, and then he kicks it back out to Anderson. I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Marion with the basketball and a 3-point lead. It's 46-43. The lob to Anderson for the alley-oop.
Great play that time.
Beautiful pass by Travis Kirby, and it's a 5-point Marion lead. It's a big play coming off a timeout. Lorton having trouble is hacked on the play by Jackson.
Very impressed with the way Jackson's playing defense. He's really turning the ball game. I think he's probably the most valuable player on the floor for Marion right now.
Dan Gunn not happy at all with the calls today. I don't think Steve Austin's been too happy either, but it's been a consistently officiated game. The officials have let these kids play. Rodney Holmes with the basketball. Gets it inside to Lorton. Lorton wants to go right at McCain, but can't. Now Timor thinks about the 3. Jamison lost it out of bounds. Marion basketball.
Marion kid tipped the ball, then it went off Jamison's hand. It was very tough to handle. I don't think Jamison could have handled that. But you know, right now, Marion really has St. Joe standing. They're looking inside, and the guards, neither guard, Seymour and Holmes, are penetrating, and that's really been their game all year. They're out of their game, really, offensively.
Anderson with the drive to McCain. He draws the foul from Jamison.
Now, there's a situation where Anderson just penetrates and looks for McCain. At other times, Freshwater is good, and this is a good part of their offense. Penetration by Anderson, putting the ball on the floor. McCain rolling to the basket. There you see it right now with a power layup.
Well, that's the definition of power is Jason McCain. Look at how strong he goes up to the hole.
He jumps into the basket. It's exactly what you have to do. And you know he has good hands, and I think that's his first free throw he's made today. He has good hands, and he ought to be hitting those free throws. He has a good release, and I'm very impressed with him. Very smart ball player. Only 16 years old, 300 pounds, 6'5". What do you think of that? He missed that one.
49-43. Marion by 6. You're watching the South Bend basketball semi-state. Rodney Holmes with the basketball is tripped by Freshwater. The Marion bench erupts with the call.
Freshwater agrees with the call, and Danny Gunn doesn't.
I think what Dan Gunn is a little bit upset about on the Marion bench is how late this call came. Because watch as Holmes goes down, and then it's just a second goes by before the referee puts up his hand. But it was a good call as Corcoran will inbound for St. Joe. He finds Jamison.
Oh, there's a big basket. Oh, that's a tough one for Jamie there. That ball was in and bounced out. I don't know how it stayed out.
Freshwater with the basketball to Kirby. Now McCain from 15 feet. Oh, my goodness. A Barkley-esque performance by Jason McCain. He has 13. Seymour. Nothing will fall for the Indians.
And you know, I think not only offensively is McCain playing well, but defensively it really intimidates. Here comes a lob again for Anderson.
Freshwater has it stripped by Holmes, but he's called for a foul.
Freshwater penetrates so well. He's so quick. He's about 5'10". They have him listed about 5'10", probably about 5'6", and he sees the floor so very well. Good basketball player, and just a sophomore, the only sophomore on the team for Marion.
Dave, as thousands of viewers have realized, WNDU TV Channel 16 is having major technical difficulties today. In the public interest, because of the huge following for high school basketball, WNDU and WSBT are teaming up this afternoon. WSBT has been gracious enough to put the signal of WNDU on Channel 22 so that this game can be viewed by as many people as possible. Channel 16 WNDU thanks WSBT very much for their help. Freshwater at the line misses the first. And St. Joe is just ice cold. St. Joe hasn't scored since 4:30 left in the third period.
And I think it's the defense that has St. Joe standing. You know, all year that Timor and Holmes have penetrated with the ball on the dribble. And right now they're not doing that, and that's not their game. They're completely out of their game. They're looking inside too much instead of putting the ball on the floor and going to the basket with it.
50 seconds to go in the third period. Marion has a 9-point lead. Corcoran with the basketball. Now Holmes. Holmes for two. Misses badly, but Lorton gets the rebound and puts it in with the left hand. Kevin's a southpaw, and I think it helped him that time.
But they're really intimidating St. Joe with their defense. They play great team defense. Talking about Marion, and they have a hand up in the face, and they get up on you, and they have good team quickness. I'm very impressed with them. This game, of course, might determine the state champion right here. Both teams are very good basketball teams.
15 seconds left in the third period. Jerry Freshwater with the ball as we're now down to 10. Freshwater on the dribble over to Anderson. Anderson puts it up. It won't go. Corcoran with the rebound. 2 seconds. One. Holmes' length of the court heave is wide and short. And that is the end of 3 periods of basketball. If the St. Joe Indians are going to the Final Four, they've got to make a comeback. It's Marion 52, St. Joe 45. We'll have more after this. Marion leads St. Joe 52 or 52 to 45. One of the reasons the Indians of St. Joe only 3 of 13 from the field in the third quarter, and Marion had no turnovers. That is outstanding basketball by the Giants.
Marion is playing just absolutely great defense. Good pressure on the ball, good pressure on the basketball, and they have really intimidated St. Joe since the beginning of the second half, and they've got St. Joe standing on offense, which St. Joe did not do all year, and it's one of those times where kids stand. Now St. Joe can come back right now. They just got to get a little spurt going, get their confidence back, and move the basketball a little bit.
Corcoran is open from the top of the key, but cannot hit. When St. Joe has had shots, they just haven't fallen.
It's a big basket now for Marion. If they can get a basket right now and really put it back up to 9, it's going to be tough for St. Joe to come back, I think, because right now there it is, too. Beautiful cut that time off the flex offense.
Johnny Williams with the layup, and Marion is up by 9. Williams has 7 points. Holmes for 3. It just won't fall.
Seems like shots that have fallen for Holmes and St. Joe all year are not falling right now. They got plenty of time. We've got 7 minutes to go. Marion's going to a more set offense right now. They're not dribble penetrating now. They're just going, posting McCain up and low, and there he goes. He should have used the board on that one.
Timor with the rebound. A smart play by Dedrick Jackson not to fall for the temptation of going over the back. St. Joe has only scored 7 points in the second half. Timor cannot rectify the situation as McCain gets the rebound. Anderson driving on Timor, hitting, it counts, and he was fouled.
There's a big basket, Chuck. That puts it up to 11. He's so strong, though, and he pushes off a little bit here, but gets the basket. Dribble penetrates, stops. Dribble penetrates, stops team. Push off a little bit, floats, and still makes the basket, which shows you how much body agility he has.
Steve Austin has seen enough. The Giants lead by 11. Points for the Marion guard, and he'll try to make it 30 here. His career high is 32.
Now he'll take over the ball game now. It looks like they're looking for him right now for the dribble penetration and just getting him the ball, letting him drive to the basket with the ball and look for McCain.
Anderson misses, and the rebound comes off to Timor.
St. Joe is 3 of 16 the second half, Charlie, and that's probably as poor as they've ever shot, maybe since the 7th grade, unfortunately.
Corcoran for 3. Lorton on the rebound, and he draws the foul.
Great rebound and a great second shot that time.
Kevin Lorton gives the Tri-Band something to cheer about. The foul is on McCain.
Johnny Williams.
Take another look.
Johnny Williams puts great pressure on Corcoran at the outside, but Lorton does a good job, and that's a big basket for St. Joe. That turns the momentum around it just a little bit, and St. Joe really needed that, particularly if he gets his free throw down. Lorton's played a great game today. Been very strong on the boards, and he's played good defense.
You could see the intensity on his face as he hits the free throw. St. Joe now within 8, 6:12 to go in the ball game.
St. Joe in a man-to-man press, and Rodney is guarding Anderson, and he turns the ball over, goes back across the 10-second line.
But the key on the play was Corcoran coming over on weak side help. You'll see it again. Anderson had to spin away, and right there is Tom Corcoran to force the over and back. First turnover of the second half, or actually the second, because they had one at the beginning of the quarter, but only 2 turnovers in the second half for Marion. Holmes for 3.
St. Joe just will not take the ball to the basket. They're taking the outside jumper or throwing the ball to the post, but Rodney and Timor are not dribble penetrating, which is really their game. I think they do that the best.
Freshwater working on Timor. Offensive foul on Jerry Freshwater. Kevin Lorton draws the charge, and both men are slow to get up.
That's 2 trips down the floor in a row now that Marion hasn't had a shot. And Freshwater leaves his feet here too soon, as you see, and floats, and Lorton took the charge, and that's a great play by Lorton. Stuck his body in there and took the charge. Freshwater just left the floor too soon.
Both teams now in the bonus, but because it's a player control foul, St. Joe will not get to shoot. Marion leads by 8 with 5:40 to go. Rodney Holmes with the basketball. He's been quiet here in the second half, but then again, so have all the Indians. Corcoran outside the arc.
They had the lob set up to Jamison on the backside that time, but didn't give him the ball.
Timor to Corcoran.
McCain turned his head.
Now Holmes. Here's Jamison. Has it stripped away by Freshwater, but Jamie gets it back and throws it away. Anderson with the ball for Marion. Giants on the run. He'll slow it up wisely and give it to Freshwater. Marion will try and run a little bit of time off the clock while staying within their offense. Under 5 minutes to go in the game. Marion by 8. Timor knocks it away, and Al Lazar of the South Bend Tribune hauls that one in.
Good hustle by Timor that time, and Marion right now is going to kind of a motion game. They've got their wings spread wide outside the three-point line, and they're just down screening and passing the ball and taking it to the backside.
Johnny Williams on the inbound, and it comes to Freshwater, who's hawked by Timor.
Boy, does he handle the ball well for a sophomore, does he? He just has a lot of confidence. He's running the show.
Look for Anderson back door. Instead, it's McCain on the lob, and Holmes strips it away. Sometimes it pays to be little. St. Joe trails by 8. Holmes to Corcoran. He's wide open. Timor underneath gets the rebound in, and it's a 6-point game.
There's another example of Marion standing on the boards. Nobody jumped that time for Marion. Nobody moved the block out. And here we got a little trap by St. Joe.
Jackson to Freshwater. As you said, Dave, he runs the show. Stolen by Timor, but regained by Freshwater, and now Anderson can penetrate and lay it in.
And there's a big basket for Anderson. That should have been a turnover, and Marion comes back and gets the basket and puts it back up to 8. That's tough for St. Joe to take there.
4-point turnaround because Timor would have had an easy breakaway. Now Holmes inside the arc hits.
And there's what Rodney does best. Penetrate, dribble, rear up, and shoot the basketball. Now we've got Holmes guarding Anderson, and Timor and Holmes are trying to double team the ball, and St. Marion calls timeout.
The Giants at one time had an 11-point lead. It has been whittled down to 6. Dan Gunn will regroup the troops with 3:22 remaining in the fourth.
And I think Marion has to be a little bit more careful with the basketball. They have to spread the floor a little bit and get away from each other so that Holmes can't strip, play where Holmes stripped McCain, and then you've got Anderson driving. You've got to give Anderson some room to drive the middle, which is what he does so well. He's so strong. He's very tough for anybody on St. Joe's team to guard.
Don't forget Elkhart Memorial and Fort Wayne Concordia come up in game 2 of our doubleheader. But you saw Steve Austin in that St. Joe huddle a minute ago. And we're going to come back to the Joyce Center after this. Anderson puts it up and gets the three-pointer.
Not a good shot in that situation, but it went in, puts it back up to 9. That's a big basket, Chuck.
35 points for David Anderson. Holmes will try and answer, but he can't. Rebound goes out of bounds off Freshwater. It'll be St. Joe's basketball, but the Tribe down by 9 with 2:55 to go. Don't count St. Joe out. They rallied from a 7-point deficit against Clay with 3 minutes left in the holiday tournament.
Exactly.
Corcoran for 3 is short. Rebound still loose. Lorton puts it home.
Marion just stands on the board at times, and it really is allowing St. Joe to stay in the ball game with him. And that's one of the things why Marion hasn't dominated the game more, I believe. That Marion just lets St. Joe get back in the ball game. Lorton picked that ball up off the floor and put it back in the basket. Here's Anderson now isolated on Holmes.
Anderson gets that one to roll. 37 points. Not even Dan Gunn can believe this performance.
Well, they say he wants the ball in the fourth quarter, and the kids from Marion look for him, and that's exactly what happened that time.
Timor drives and puts it home. It's 63-56. Marion by 7. 2:05 left.
Showtime. Anderson wants the basketball.
Freshwater is just driving Timor nuts out there. as Darren tries to strip the ball away. Now Freshwater dishes outside to Williams, who takes the jumper and hits.
They're fearless. They're fearless. That was a great drive by Freshwater that time. They go to three.
Gets it. Boy, St. Joe just won't die. 7-point game, 1:34 left.
What a big basket. Here he comes with the basketball now. He is very quick with the ball, has a lot of confidence, and Freshwater is really, truly amazing for a sophomore.
Timor fouls Freshwater as he drives by. Second foul on Timor, but it's a time when St. Joe almost has to start fouling. Freshwater is a 71% foul shooter, and she'll take another look. No doubt Timor is all over him and reaches in.
He's so quick with the ball, as you see in this replay. He just goes around people with his tremendous burst of speed, and he's, like I say, a sophomore, but he's got great court sense. He sees everybody on the floor, all 10 people, probably sees the officials too, and he knows where everybody is, and he knows what's going on, and he never changes expression. He's really fun to watch. From a coaching standpoint, you have to really have a lot of respect for him. He might be the key kid on the floor for Marion.
1 of 2 from the line. He misses, and Lorton is fouled by Williams. And so Kevin Lorton will go to the line at the other end. And St. Joe now has a chance to whittle that lead to 5.
That's a situation on a free throw where you want to just let him have it with a minute and 24 to go. You want the clock to run, and you're stopping the clock and letting St. Joe score without the clock running. And that's one of the things that kids do. They get anxious and they want to play hard and they want to win, and that's often what will happen in that situation. So coming over the back at that time, clock stops the clock for St. Joe. 1:24 left in a 7-point lead. You want the clock to run.
Kevin Lorton going to the line where he's a 72% foul shooter.
And I would say that Lorton has played a tremendous game today. You know, he's had a lot of injuries and illness this year, and it's real good to see him play as well as he has today. There's a big free throw. Cuts it to 6. He can get it down to 5, and that's only 2 possessions.
He'll have another. 1:24 left on the clock in regulation.
He's had a lot of big rebounds today, and a lot of big rebounds where he's got garbage stuff off the floor and put it right back in the basket, and it's been very key. With Marion taking the types of shots they are on offense right now, St. Joe can get it back in this ball game real quick. Full court man-to-man press.
Holmes nearly got the steal. Now they surround Anderson. It's a 3-on-1 break for the Giants. Freshwater to McCain, and he gives it back. Anderson to Williams. He's fouled by Corcoran.
It comes down to whether Marion can hit their free throws. Good ball movement that time by Marion, and they had a 3-on-1 break, and pulled the ball back out, and there's the foul.
This is the man the Giants want going to the line. Johnny Williams is a 73% foul shooter. Only Travis Kirby, number 35, is a better foul shooter than Williams. There you see the stats on him for today. And he misses the first, the rebound to Timor.
Got to hit those free throws in high school, and you know what we say, you're putting a 16 or 17-year-old kid at the free throw line, and there's a screen for Holmes. That's a big basket.
That's a three-pointer, and the Tribe is within 2. Anderson with the basketball for Marion. He whips it over to Freshwater. Connaughton tries to chase him down and is called for the foul, and Freshwater will go back to the line with 48 seconds left.
Now, Danny Gunn's talking about a 2-shot foul, and of course, the other one looked like a 2-shot foul as well. He just reached out and grabbed Freshwater, and that's an obvious foul.
St. Joe wants a timeout. Everybody on the Joyce Center is on their feet. We'll be back after this.
Who's hard? Yeah, you'll find it at CarQuest.
The Marion Giant fans are screaming, but they will quiet down momentarily because their man Jerry Freshwater is going to the line to shoot one in the bonus with 48 seconds left, and Marion leading St. Joe 65-63. St. Joe has gotten back in the game with an 11-2 run in the last 2 minutes. Freshwater misses, rebound, Corcoran. Here's Holmes.
took Jamison out and put Connaughton in because Connaughton's a little bit quicker on defense, I believe. And, of course, they're going to have to press. There's a big one.
Three-pointer misses. Rebound McCain. They'll foul him immediately.
That ball was down and in. Rodney really got a bad break on that one. Really got a bad break, and that would have given St. Joe the lead. Really a good, he followed through very well, had his feet under him, and the ball went down in the basket and popped out. McCain is not a good free throw shooter. He's the kid to foul. I think he's 52% for the year. He has good hands. See if he can get these two down.
That's an anxious St. Joe bench across the way. Lorton picks up his third foul. McCain at the line today is 3 out of 7.
And that's a big free throw because that puts it where St. Joe is going to have 2 possessions to win the ball game. Big free throw.
Of course, a three-pointer will tie it. Dan Gunn shouting encouragement to his team. He's been through a lot this year, but he could be in the Elite Eight. McCain misses the second. Timor with the rebound. 25 seconds left.
Great hustle by Timor. St. Joe needed the ball there. Timor really made a great play there to get the basketball. There's a hand back, and this is going to be a lob now.
They're going to have to work quickly. There's only 13 seconds left. St. Joe obviously content to go with the 3 and go to overtime. Lorton for 3.
Oh, he made it. Great shot.
Kirby from half court, and we're going to overtime. Kevin Lorton with the three-pointer, and I'm not sure he had tried one all year.
He's an inside player, as you know. Plays inside around the basket. He got the ball.
Bedlam at the Joyce Center. We'll be back after this. Well, I think we have almost settled down at the Joyce Center, except for the St. Joe fans behind us. The Marion fans are stunned, and I would be too. Kevin Lorton had tried a three-pointer all season until the one that ties up the Semistate, and that's the story as we go to OT.
Great clutch basket, you know, and you really like to see kids do that. That's just super because St. Joe really did not handle the ball well until this time, and they were really out of position. Right here, you're seeing Lorton taking the jump shot because they did not run anything to get Holmes or Timor the ball in the situation where they could shoot it, and really it was more of a desperation shot than anything. The thing was set up for Timor and Holmes, but nothing developed for Timor and Holmes, and Lorton had to shoot it, and that's great, he did it.
Unbelievable. We'll go to overtime. Johnny Williams will jump against Jamison. St. Joe forced the overtime by outscoring Marion 14-5 in the last 3:30. Well, we told him, Dave, it wasn't over yet. The Indians proved us right. Timor with the basketball.
Marion in good man-to-man defense now.
Holmes, guarded by Freshwater, puts it up, no good. Rebound Freshwater.
Freshwater looked for Anderson that time. Looked right for Anderson. I think they're going to go to Anderson now and let him penetrate with the basketball.
Travis Kirby with the basketball to McCain. Now Anderson with the basketball. Stripped away by Corcoran.
Good defensive play by Corcoran.
Timor is fouled by Williams. Four fouls on Johnny Williams. That's a big blow for Marion if he fouls out because, as we noted, he's one of their best foul shooters.
Corcoran took the step in on Anderson. Anderson was trying to penetrate. Corcoran took the step in, knocked the ball away, and they had a 2-on-1 situation. Didn't score. Here we got 2-on-1, 2-on-1, and 15 comes over the back. Johnny Williams comes over the back.
Timor going to the line and hits it. St. Joe is 11 of 11 from the stripe today.
I don't know of anyone in the state I'd rather have at the free throw line than Timor. Maybe Rodney Holmes, but they're both great shooters. He's just got a great release, a lot of confidence in himself, and he likes this type of situation. Made them both.
He's been through these situations before. He was the quarterback for St. Joe's football team. St. Joe put on a 2-2-1 press. Marion was confused and had to call timeout.
Okay, timeout for Marion right now. And now for the first time in the ball, since in the second half, Marion has, momentum has gone away from Marion.
2:10 left to go. St. Joe by 2. Welcome back to the Joyce Center. What a great game we've had for you. And as thousands of viewers have realized, WNDU TV Channel 16 is having some technical difficulties today. And in the public interest, because of the huge following for high school basketball, WNDU and WSBT have teamed up this afternoon. WSBT being gracious enough to put the signal of WNDU on Channel 22, so this game can be viewed by as many people as possible. And if you've missed some of it, you've missed a classic.
2-2-1 full court press by St. Joe. Now they go man-to-man.
Freshwater to Williams.
And they're trapping on the half court.
David Anderson to the hole.
Big
Gets
basket.
it to go.
They moved the ball back to the backside, and Anderson just took it to the basket.
39 points for David Anderson.
What a good player he is. What a strong high school player. Very strong physically. Good jumper.
Timor rattles it home. He's got all 4 of St. Joe's points of the overtime. 1:30 to go.
2-2-1. Three-quarter court press by St. Joe this time.
Stolen away by Holmes underneath. The Tribe, for the first time in a long time, has the chance to protect the lead, and Steve Austin wants to talk about it. Listen to the crowd. Now, if you're Steve Austin in this situation, Dave, what do you tell your ball club?
Well, I think he wants to spread the floor. I'd get those postmen out of the middle and let Timor and Holmes drive the ball to the basket. Either going to foul Timor or Holmes, or you're going to give him the basket. And I think that's what he'll do right now with 1:15 to go. Get Lorton and the rest of them away from Jameson away from the basket, and give Rodney and Timor the lane. Let them drive the ball to the basket.
Here you see the key steal. Rodney Holmes filling the lane beautifully because McCain was open. Now, on the other hand, if you're Dan Gunn over in the Marion huddle, what are you telling your ball club?
Well, they've got to come out and get the ball and force the turnover. He knows what St. Joe's going to do. He knows that Timor and Holmes are going to take the ball over right now, and he's either going to trap with a 1-3-1 half-court trap, which he has, or he's going to go man-to-man and run and jump. But he's got to get some pressure and some type of trap on St. Joe right now and get a quick turnover.
Believe it or not, we'll have another one after this one. Memorial and Concordia. I don't know how we'll be able to put together that one, but St. Joe has got a 2-point lead with 1:15 left, and now Dan Gunn and Marion will call a timeout.
You know, I think, Chuck, in the last 3 or 4 minutes, you can really see the confidence of St. Joe coming back, and most of us have watched them play all year, and we know what they play like and how they act and how they look and how they react, and they weren't doing that in the second half until maybe the last minute or 2 of the ballgame. This overtime now, their confidence is really coming back, and they're doing the things that got them such a great season this year. 1 loss, 27 wins, and the Hall of Fame Classic champion, the South Bend Holiday Tournament champion. They're going back to those things now. Rodney and Timor are penetrating with the ball, and they look confident right now, and that's great to see, because I don't think they were playing with it there for about 14 or 15 minutes of the second half today.
Well, the Marion fans are still confident. They should be. They're 25-0 this year, so they don't know what it's like to lose a ball game. St. Joe, as you mentioned, 27-1, and what a job Steve has done with this ball club. 4 years ago, when Holmes and Timor and most of the senior-dominated team were freshmen, they were 3-18. Now they could be headed to the Elite Eight. They have a 2-point lead with 1:15 to go in overtime. Tom Corcoran will inbound for St. Joe.
There's a screen
He's
on
got to
Timor.
find somebody. He gets Holmes, and Holmes is fouled by Anderson. Tom Corcoran pushed the 5 count about as far as you can push it.
There was a situation where Marion was just a shutout defense, back to the ball, and he just got it in. I'm not sure that wasn't quite a long count, but Holmes did a great job of moving without the ball to get open that time.
Holmes is an 87% foul shooter, and on the day, he's 2 out of 2.
And he'll make them both.
He now has 14 points in his career, 1,533. But most importantly right now, St. Joe has a 3-point lead and can stretch it to 4.
Go up to 4. St. Joe in a 2-2-1, half-court trap again, three-quarter court trap. Anderson with the ball. They're trying to trap it. They make Anderson give the ball up.
Jerry Freshwater, 1 minute exactly remaining. Travis Kirby for three. Can't get it. Freshwater hustles down the rebound. Anderson's wide open, feeds McCain, and the big fella puts it in. And Marion will call a timeout, trailing by 2.
Lots of poise that time by Marion. Lots of poise. They moved the ball well. They got the ball down on the blocks to McCain, and that was a great job. They did not panic that time. But I think what St. Joe is trying to do right now is to trap Anderson, to make Anderson give up the ball and then not let him get the ball back. And that's exactly what they've done the last 2 times down the floor. He got the ball there off the rebound that time. And of all the kids that you do not want to have the ball right now for Marion, it would be Anderson.
72-70, St. Joe leads Marion. If you're Dan Gunn, how quickly do you foul in this situation?
Well, you don't have to foul real quick right now. You can make them handle the ball a couple times, and I think they'll probably their best press is a man-to-man run and jump press, and they'll go to that. You've got some time before you have to foul. You don't want to foul Rodney and of course Timor unless you can help it. All the kids on St. Joe's team, however, are good free throw shooters, and they all handle the ball pretty well. Timor and Holmes, of course, better than anybody really, but here we go with the man-to-man full court press right now.
Timor is the man to inbound for St. Joe. They'll try to get Corcoran, and they do. He feeds Lorton. St. Joe breaking the press well as Timor brings it across. Now slows it down, and they'll give it to the Mr. Basketball candidate, Rodney Holmes. David Anderson called for a foul away from the ball as he pushed Kevin Lorton on the screen, so Lorton will go to the line.
That's a pretty smart play right there. You're making Lorton go to the free throw line instead of Holmes. I'm not sure that he wasn't told to do that. Lorton was near Holmes. They want Lorton to shoot the free throws rather than Holmes, and he didn't have to foul Holmes, who was obviously at 87%, probably the best free throw shooter in the state.
We had a shot of Steve Austin a moment ago. He looked so composed. I know he didn't learn that from his high school coach.
I sure didn't. He's learned a lot of things. You know, he really has a lot of composure for a young coach. He's really not that old. And I think his kids display that. They play very well under pressure, and they play very well under pressure all year. And of course, there's a real big free throw. It puts it up to 3.
Dan Gunn looking on as Kevin Lorton has 21 points. The Tribe now 15 of 15 from the foul line today.
And this is Lorton's best game of the year. Best game defensively, rebounding, and of course with 21 points, what can you say? But I'm really impressed with Lorton.
Best game of his career, for that matter, Dave.
I'm sure it is, particularly on defense. He just did a super job on defense today.
74-70, St. Joe by 4, 37 seconds left. Here comes Anderson across the timeline for Marion. He'll put it up from 3. That won't go. McCain with the rebound puts it in.
Big basketball by McCain. Now here they are. They foul Holmes again too quickly, and you're putting Holmes at the free throw line again, and it's going to shove it right back up to 4.
Anderson commits the foul. He set a big basket by Jason McCain. I'm not sure he can score anything but big baskets.
That's right. But he does, you know, he gets the ball, he turns around, lays it over the rim, or that time, or he puts it on the glass. And very impressed with him. Rodney's got to miss one of these free throws for Marion to have a chance, I believe.
There you see his numbers on the day. An 87% foul shooter on the year. The 2-time South Bend Tribune Metro Player of the Year hits the first.
And St. Joe, by trapping Marion, is making them run time off the clock, and they have to Anderson has to give the ball up, and he just took a terrible shot the last time. They're very lucky to be in the score that time.
You have to hit free throws to win the state championship, and St. Joe is 8 of 8 in overtime, 17 of 17 on the day. Anderson off the glass, no good. Kirby with the rebound.
Big basket by Kirby. Again, Anderson took a bad shot, forced the ball up there, and Marion got the rebound.
But if you're David Anderson, you probably figure you have to do that because you're the man who's had the ball all year.
Exactly. St. Joe didn't block out very well. Now we're going to have to have a foul situation right away on the part of Marion. Make them shoot free throws, and of course, obviously, you want to foul somebody else besides Timor or Holmes. Particularly Holmes right now. He's shooting the ball very well.
The St. Joe fans were rocking and rolling all day during a pep rally yesterday at the school. They got a little bit quiet early in the fourth, but they are making some noise again. Their tribe leads Marion by 2, 76-74. The Giants are out of timeouts with 15 seconds remaining. Here's the last basket.
Again, St. Joe doesn't block out on it. I believe that's Kirby. Just gets the rebound, puts it right back up. And
Marion has been going with a press, and I would imagine they do the same here, Dave.
They've got to shut out press now. By that, try to get the 5-second count. You'll notice they're in St. Joe's face and Corcoran and Holmes' face, and there's Corcoran going long. There it is, the ball game.
He missed the layup. Here comes Freshwater for Marion. 10 seconds. Now down to 7. Anderson spinning, shooting. Didn't get it, but he drew the foul. And I don't know how a ball could hang on the rim any longer.
Boy, was that close. That ball, you thought that ball was in. It was going in. It was hanging. It was hanging. It was hanging. And he finally was fouled.
Jamie Jamison commits his 5th foul. So he'll have to go to the bench as you take another look at it.
Here's Anderson with a spin move. Puts the ball up. He's fouled right there by Jamie. And the ball just hangs on the rim. It has to go in, and it just creeps out. Tough break for Marion. Great break for St. Joe.
David Anderson is a 67% foul shooter. 39 points on the day. He's 4 of 5 from the line.
See the ball hanging right there.
The picture will tell the story.
And he missed the first one.
Steve Austin wants a timeout. The best Marion can do now is get within 1, but St. Joe would still have to inbound because the ball is dead.
Exactly. Ball is dead, and obviously Marion's going to have to foul before the ball gets inbounds if he makes this one. Now, if he misses, of course, the ball's in play. Some people might try to miss it, rebound the ball, and put it back in, and that's a big gamble. Most coaches would try to make the free throw and then foul on the inbounds pass and make St. Joe shoot right away.
But Dan Gunn has never been a coach who's afraid of taking gambles. Do you think he'll take it here?
I think he might, we're going to see if he puts McCain back in the ball game right now. I'll be surprised if he doesn't put McCain back in the ball game, to rebound the ball. You can shoot the ball hard. Anderson's a good enough athlete. He can shoot the ball hard. Ball can come off quick, and then they get the ball back and put it back up. They might try that. 5 seconds to go. 2-point lead by St. Joe.
Remember, Marion is out of timeouts. Anderson will have one more free throw.
And McCain is back in the ball game, so I'm sure that's what they're going to try to do. They're not thinking about pressing them. They're thinking about getting the second shot, and they're putting all 5 people on the free throw lane.
David Anderson with 39 points on the afternoon, but it may not be enough.
And Rodney should be at the free throw lane with the rest of them. There he did. He threw it, tried to miss it.
But he stepped over the line when he did it, and St. Joe will get the ball. Dan Gunn tells his team, get on him with the press, and he's going to go to the bench quickly, put in Dedrick Jackson, one of his best defensive players, and Steve Austin wants another timeout because this changes the situation a little bit.
Now they have to foul right away. St. Joe, of course, wants to get the ball inbounds and hold it. There's no 5-second call in the backcourt. The count will start, and you have to get it across the 10 seconds. So someone could just catch the ball inbounds and hold it, and that's the ball game. And I'm sure that's what Steve's telling them right now. Catch the ball and hold it. Don't try to dribble it. Don't try to pass it. Just hold it and make them foul you, and then we get it up to the other end, and there'll be 3 or 2 or whatever seconds left on the clock. So that'll be the strategy now for St. Joe.
How tough is this game? The St. Joe Priests have already taken off their collars.
Well, this is a great crowd here. The finest high school crowd I've seen in, of course, obviously many years here in South Bend, excluding the regular season game last year with St. Joe and Concord. But it's a great crowd for the Semistate, and it's really good for high school basketball in this area, and I think it's going to create a lot of interest and enthusiasm. This game, the whole tournament, and the crowd as we have it, and it's beautiful to see it as a high school coach and appreciating basketball the way I do.
Let's reset the scene in case you've just joined us. St. Joe rallied to force the overtime. They now have a 76-74 lead and possession of the ball with 5 seconds left. Marion is out of timeouts. Dan Gunn.
They're not guarding Lorton. They missed Lorton. Now Freshwater's going to go guard him. Now they're going to put...
Dan Gunn has people checking in at the scorer's table. The question is, why can't they come in? Now he sends in Mark Edwards. Timor will inbound for St. Joe. 5 seconds left. St. Joe by 2.
Leaving Connaughton open. They want Connaughton come to the ball.
Corcoran has it, and the drive is going to the Elite Eight. The ecstasy of St. Joe contrasted with the agony of Marion. A roller coaster game at the ACC. Final score, St. Joe 76, Marion 74. We'll be back with a wrap-up of this one after this.